A lot of the papers, of course, focusing on stories to do with the UN General Assembly. One of the main topics, Syria. Now, The Guardian in the UK, they're looking at the plight of children caught up in the war.
That's right. It's on the front page of The Guardian today, and it says tortured, traumatized, and scarred. And there's a photo of a young boy named Mohammed. He's 11 years old. He's from Dera, and he arrived in a camp called the Zatari camp in northern Jordan about a month ago because his home in Syria was destroyed by shelling. Now, inside The Guardian, there's a really interesting article by journalist Harriet Sherwood, who reports from this camp, and it tells the horrible, heartbreaking tale of children who have had to flee Syria, often with or without their families, and it says talks about their horrible experiences. Many describe hearing bombs drop. Many have seen their loved ones die. Some even say that they were tortured. So it's a very interesting article I recommend reading. And this comes as the NGO Save Your Children has launched this campaign to draw attention to the plight of children in Syria. And they've filmed the accounts of 6 Syrian children, which actually you can watch on The Guardian's website.
Okay, sounds fascinating stuff. The Guardian kind of really going for it today. They also have an analysis piece about what the Syria conflict means for the UN.
That's right. This is a piece by Julian Borger, who says that the mood today at the General Assembly is so sour that it's being compared to the Cold War. Now, the root of this bitterness is, of course, the worsening Syrian conflict, which has really divided the Security Council, and it's divided along very familiar lines. So, of course, China and Russia on one hand, Europe and the United States on the other. According to this article, if there were ever a moment of speaking up, it would be right now. But curiously enough, the key players are distancing themselves from the debate. For instance, Vladimir Putin and Hu Jintao aren't even going to show up. Barack Obama, in the meantime, is just going to have a flash visit. Now, the article says this isn't the Cold War, but there is definitely a corroding of high-level trust within the Security Council, and it couldn't come at a worse time because there's the looming threat of another Middle East conflict, this time between Israel and Iran, and it could have a lot darker consequences for the region as a whole.
Okay, another conflict going on, at least a mental one anyway. Tensions rising between China and Japan. This is over the disputed islands, of course, in the East China Sea.
That's right. It's on the cover of China Daily. Again today, it's been on the cover a lot recently. And you see a photo of 2 ships, one from the Chinese side, one from the Japanese side, patrolling just around these disputed islands in the East China Sea. Now, a lot of papers are focusing on how the United States should be reacting right now because the United States has a security treaty that it signed with Japan. Now, according to China Daily, the United States should take a neutral stance, and it says that actions speak louder than words. And it says that the United States is seeking to improve its military ties with China because all this is part of an eastward shift in the United States' strategic focus. Recently, for instance, the United States Defense Secretary Leon Panetta spent 3 days in China visiting with authorities. All this is part of building up ties with China. And it says that if the United States wants to show that it's trustworthy, then it needs to give a clear sign to China and stay out of this dispute. There's a different opinion, however, in the Wall Street Journal that likens the situation to playing chicken in the East China Sea and says that there's an increasing likeliness that there could be some sort of confrontation. And all of this is due to the fact that China is being increasingly aggressive, and this could be a foretaste of more tensions to come. According to the Wall Street Journal, America's influence in the region is at stake, and therefore the long-term solution for the United States is to lead its allies in maintaining a credible military presence and in opposing any attempt at unilaterally changing the boundaries in the region.
Okay, Florence, thank you very much. Florence with the international papers on France 24 for you. Let's remind you of the news headlines.